Starting Unit 3, we're going to have a short lesson about ratios, which we'll use then in our next lesson to do some more complicated things with. Not that complicated, but a little more. So when we talk about ratios, we know that this can mean 5 out of 8, which would be a fraction. Or we also know that the fraction bar means divided. So this can also be 5 divided by 8. But now we're going to look at a third interpretation, and that is the ratio of 5 to 8. And there are 3 ways that we can write a ratio. They're just a comparison of 2 quantities. We can write it with the word 2, 5 to 8. We can use this colon, 2 dots, 5 to 8, or we can write it as a fraction, 5 to 8. So if we have a math class that consists of junior and senior students, there are 15 juniors and 17 seniors. If we wanted to write a ratio of juniors to seniors, we would write 15 to 17. We can write it like this as a fraction. We can write it like this with a colon, or we can write it with the word 2. If we write it as a fraction, we can write it in lowest terms or simplest form. So if we wrote 15 feet to 10 feet, you can easily see that we could simplify the fraction 15 to 10. We could divide both of those by 5. We can divide out the like units as well in the numerator and denominator as we would common factors. So those would cancel out. We can divide both of these by 5, and we would end up with 3 halves. If we had comparing $20 to $10, you see that the dollars would cancel out, and we could divide both of these by 10, and we would have a comparison of 2 to 1. Even though 3 halves, which we got here, is equivalent to 1.5, we do not write the ratio as a mixed number. It's written as a fraction, or with a colon, or with the word 2. So don't be tempted to change this to a mixed number. Sometimes we have ratios where they're not whole numbers that we're comparing, and we do want to write the ratio with whole numbers. So if we multiplied 7 5/10 by 10, the numerator would be a whole number, but the denominator would not be if we multiplied both the numerator and denominator by the same number. So we must multiply both of them by the same number. So we're going to have to multiply both of them by 100 in order to move the decimal point 2 places to the right in the denominator. So we multiply by 100. It has 2 zeros. We're going to move this 2 places. So now we have 750. In the denominator, this is why we needed 100, because we need to make this a whole number. So when we multiply by 100, both on the top and on the bottom, we have 750 compared to 625, and that can be simplified to 6/5. Now, if we have mixed numbers on the top and the bottom, then we can change this top mixed number to an improper fraction. 2 sets of 4 plus 1 would be 9/4. 3 1/2 would be 3 sets of 2, plus 1 would be 7 halves. And we have done these before. These are our complex fractions. We know that that's 9/4 divided by 7 halves, or 9/4 multiplied by the reciprocal. And we can do some canceling when we're in multiplication, and we have 9/7, which is what they've written this out for us. But we would have, 9 over 14. Make that 9 over 14. Pretty simple little lesson, but it's the basis of a lot of work that we're going to be doing.